gotta make it out to Vegas, where the lights shine bright. Vegas, in the clear desert night. Vegas, where they can make you a star. Vegas, at the NFR.
NFR Extra is a podcast dedicated to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo and features icons and personalities that embody the Western lifestyle.
There's always a little crackle in the air in Nashville. I'm not going to lie to you, because everybody comes in here and it's kind of like Vegas, because people, when they come in here, they got their party boots on.
Yeah.
You know, they're here to have a good time. So they come in high energy, excited. They're ready to get after it. And our sport's magical. We just have great people in it. That's what I love about rodeo. You got this many talented people in Nashville. This rodeo is going to get better and better every year because we got good people that want to be involved in it.
This is Pro Rodeo announcer Andy Seiler, and you are listening to NFR Extra. We're going to strum a tune today with the man from the Music City Rodeo here on NFR Extra, Pat Humes. You've got a great team that you've put together in Nashville, and it's a vision that took some time to bring together, but we're thankful that you could join us today and tell us a little bit about your event.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a long time coming. When I first moved down here, actually before I moved here, we were looking at putting it together, and it all started from my daughter. She loved going to rodeos up in Greeley, and we used to hit the National Western and go up to Cheyenne. And so she grew up kind of my little rodeo buddy. We moved out here. She's like, Dad, there's no big rodeos. Like, what are we going to do? And so she's like, you should start one. And that's really where it started, even before we had got the house and moved out here. So when it was 2021 and we started really kind of putting it together, and it did take a long time to get going, but when we finally got it off the ground, it went well. We got a good team, and I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Tell us about some of the members on that team, because you don't just say, hey, I want to have a rodeo in Bridgestone Arena. I mean, it takes some influential individuals in the town of Nashville to make that happen.
It was, and it's kind of funny. When I started out, is a lot of the people helped me is where I put my horse at a barn down here. I met some old rodeo cowboys down there and became friends. I said, hey, I think I'm going to do this. And they looked at me like I was completely nuts. And then when I went to Bridgestone Arena, and I finally got a meeting with David Kells there, and he's kind of like, you're going to do what? And who are you? You know, and it was that, because I was nobody in this town. I had no connections or anything. And then I reached out to Paige Collins, who had worked in the music industry, and Paige had put me in touch with Brian Kaplan at Down Home. And that kind of brought the music component. I always knew I wanted music. I wanted to be kind of a mini Houston. You know, I liked that concept, live shows. And living in Nashville, I figured, heck, it should be pretty easy to get headliner talent. And you know, getting our music partners in really helped us bring that together. And that's what helped. It was a bunch of local cowboys here, and then reached out to old cowboy friends like Hooter Brown and Butch Kirby and those old timers. And I said, hey, how do I do this? And they really helped me get in touch with a lot of people at the PRCA and introduced me to some folks at Las Vegas events. And I had a lot of help. I didn't do this at all on my own. I really was blessed with so many people jumping on to help me to pull this off. So, and that's what made it so good.
Well, and specifically being in Nashville, it looked like all of the musical guests were very comfortable, and their teams were very comfortable with the music part of it. But there were a lot of nervous people that had never produced a rodeo before. And I feel like Cody and the Smith team, I mean, they did an excellent job of making everybody feel comfortable and letting everybody know, hey, we're going to be successful. This is going to happen, and everything will be fine.
It was. I mean, couldn't ask for better partners. You know, when we came out to it, they were the clear choice to have. The recommendation that I got to go reach out to Stace and Cody Kidd. And, you know, when they first flew down, they're like, hey, we're flying down. We got to look at this. And we're looking around Bridgestone, and we're like, how are we going to do this? Like, how are you going to bring all this in? And I walked them through my crazy plan saying, hey, I got this church parking lot, and we're going to stage horses here. I got another parking lot over by the football stadium, and we're going to bring them in, and we're going to run them like a conga line around this building and into that. And Stace looked at me like I was nuts. And then he started laughing. And he says, well, yeah, we'll do it. We'll get on board. And the city was awesome. I mean, I talked to the city most of the time. They'd be like, oh my gosh, you can't do that. You know, I'm in my development life. It's so hard to get things done. This city is awesome. I mean, they are great. Everything, the mayor's office, the people at Music City Center, where we have to go around their building, everybody's jumping on board going, hey, we'll figure this out. This is going to be great. How can we help you do it? And that's another reason I feel so blessed is one of our best partners on this deal is the city of Nashville.
Well, and how does that come in with the year one sellout?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how we did that. We had a lot of luck. I mean, it didn't hurt that you have Jelly Roll, Reba, and Tim McGraw.
Sure.
I mean, so that, I'm not going to lie to you, that's the magic that brought it there. You know, rodeo is not well exposed out here. People don't really know it. We had people that showed up and were shocked when they got in the arena and saw dirt in there and says, hey, what is this? We thought we were coming for a Tim McGraw show. You know, and we still hear that. And now they're just blown away because the vast majority of people I've run into out here have never seen rodeo. They'll talk about PBR because they've seen it on TV or they might have been one, but they didn't understand rodeo. And then when they saw it, they saw the full events, they saw the mutton busting, they saw the barrel racing. They're like, this is crazy. Like, I had to go to the bathroom so bad, but I wouldn't leave my seat because I didn't want to miss anything. And I just love hearing that stuff. And people are thirsty for it. I get it all the time. I get stopped in the grocery store. Hey, we saw you on TV. You're that rodeo guy. Are you going to do that thing in Nashville again? And it's just really good to hear.
Well, and there's so many music festivals and other things that go on during the summertime in Nashville, but it kind of had like a mini NFR feel because you had people walking around town that were talking about rodeo and wanting to know what was going on. I mean, when the Cowboy Channel set their stage up outside, I mean, it just, I don't know. I've been to Nashville before and visited, and, you know, everybody's been to some of those locales that everyone talks about, but I just, it had a different feel, did it not?
Oh, you did. It did. I mean, the energy in the town, there's always a little crackle in the air in Nashville. I'm not going to lie to you because everybody comes in here and it's kind of like Vegas because people, when they come in here, they got their party boots on.
Yeah.
You know, they're here to have a good time. So they come in high energy, excited. They're ready to get after it. And so Nashville's got that vibe. But I really do, you know, I feel like the rodeo turned it up a notch. And Tim O'Connell helped us out a lot last year with the rodeo. And he was out with Rodeo Live and he was sitting with me on the platform before it started. And I hadn't slept a wink. I mean, I was up 5 o'clock Wednesday morning, didn't sleep at all Wednesday night. I'm Thursday and I'm just running on pure adrenaline. And he looked at me and he goes, man, he goes, this place has the energy like an NFR. I mean, it's exciting. It's crackling. People are really into this and the excitement, you could feel it. Like you could feel it running through your bones. And so it was kind of special. I'm hoping we get that again this year.
Well, and I think that also stems from the contestants. You had an incredible contestant turnout for a year one rodeo as well. Like it was a must go event. What went into getting that contestant count? Was it the contractor? Was it just the fan experience? I mean, what do you think kind of drew them into that first time?
You know, I think it was a lot of factors. I mean, money helps, obviously.
Sure.
And we knew we had to have enough money that it made it worthwhile for everybody to get this far east. And there's just not a lot of rodeos out here. I mean, in year one, we were the biggest rodeo east of the Mississippi. And we knew we kind of had to create that noise to get them out here. But, you know, we also reached out to anybody and everybody that would listen to me. I called Sid Steiner and I said, hey, gosh, I sure hope Rocker's coming. And they're like, yeah, we're coming. And we reached everybody. Tim O'Connell, we created the Nashville 8. We reached out to those guys. We had no rodeo footage. We couldn't tell anybody what we were doing. So we had to create our own magic. So we shut Broadway down and brought 8 cowboys down and we filmed all day. I mean, we had those guys there from 10 o'clock until 2 o'clock in the morning, filming at all sorts of places. And they were all excited to come out. They wanted to be part of it. Nashville, the money, first thing, shutting down Broadway, meeting Jelly Roll at his bar. And it was a cool experience for them, but it was really, you know, reaching out to those cowboys and having them all jump on board. I called Wasey Chala. Custer put me in touch with him, and I talked to Wasey, and Wasey's like, hey, I know some other guys that will want to be in on this. And then within 2 hours, I had 6 guys calling me saying, "Hey, I'll come down and do this." So it was great to see the Cowboys jump on board. Just fills my heart with joy, that they wanted to be part of it, and they made this rodeo. It was the Cowboys. It was people came to see the concert, but the rodeo was a thrill, and getting Cowboys of that caliber and generally excited to be here for it. That was the magic.
Well, and not just that, Pat, but there were contestants there that honestly they rodeo on the circuit. They're never going to be at the National Finals Rodeo because maybe their schedule doesn't dictate it, or they may just never have a shot at it. But I know of some Southeastern Circuit guys that got to compete there, and I mean that's now an impression that has been made on their life that they're never going to forget. They may have seen a concert in Bridgestone before, but to be able to rope or ride inside that venue, that may be the best chance they ever have to be on a stage that big.
Yeah, and we wanted to make sure we could do everything we could to get a home for the circuit guys because, like I said, there's just not enough rodeos out here, and I'm working as hard as I can to get more. My goal in life is to not only do Nashville, I want to get more rodeos out in the Southeast Circuit. There's a lot of great cowboys out here. They got to travel a lot to go get somewhere. They don't have the opportunities here, and it should happen. We got great fans out here. We got great fan base. They're starving for this excitement. I think Nashville proved it, and this part of the country is ready for rodeo. We need to get more rodeo out here.
So before we talk about your lineup and what's going to happen in 2026, are there any rodeo format changes? Are you doing anything differently as far as how cowboys are coming to town and cowgirls?
Yeah, we are. And it's part by making our rodeo better, and it's part by not killing my staff. We've got there's only about 8 of us that really work and put this rodeo on, believe it or not. And we've got 8 people that really pour their sweat, tears, blood, bones, flesh into this thing. And we got some volunteers that jump on and help us, about another probably 20 people to come on, but we're a small and mighty crew. And last year, we ran 2 rodeos in there, Andy. I mean, we did a slack in the morning, and we had to drop the stage down in the morning and get the equipment on. Then we had to raise it up for slack. Then we had to drop it down for a sound check, and then get the arena ready, and then drop it down again. I mean, it was just up and down all night. And we said, okay, let's make this easier on our concert team. With Country Nation helps us there, and they gave us some insight. And Stace is like, let's get it off-site, our slack off-site. So this year, the great thing about it is on Tuesday, we're doing a full day slack, and so it's a 2-header down there. So that it gives the timed event guys a little bit better chance. It's not just a 1-header. And so we're doing 2 full rounds down there. And we got it, I think we're at 80 teams, and then we limit down to 30 for that 3rd round that's up in the perf. So last year, when we had slack going during the day, we had some champions that were crowned that won it in the slack. And
right.
I didn't want that.
Yep.
I wanted people to win in the perf.
Yep.
And so this year we'll have that. And so we talked, in order to get this done, we were figuring out how to do it. And we reached out to the Cowboys. We talked to Will Loomis and Wags, and we reached out to a bunch of team ropers, Chad Masters. We just talked to guys and said, hey, we're thinking about doing this format. What do you think? And so we took their wishes and their insight and kind of put it together. And then we went back and worked with Stace and the PRCA. And it was a collaborated effort that the Cowboys had a hand in. How would you like to do this? How would you like the money to go? How would you like the payout? Would you like all of it up there? Do you want to pay every round? And so now that we're paying every round down there, everybody gets a chance to get a check. And I think it's really going to make our rodeo a lot better for the Cowboys, which that's what we are. Our rodeo mantra is Cowboys first. We want to keep this rodeo and make it great for the Cowboys, because if you do that, everything else is going to be great.
Let's take a quick pause, and we'll be right back. It's Vegas. It's the National Finals Rodeo. It's a December tradition that features the greatest moments on the dirt and a 24/7 citywide party. The NFR experience has been called legendary. It brings together the best cowboys, barrel racers, and stock against a neon backdrop with gold buckles to pursue and memories to be made. There's nothing like it, and there's more on the way in 2026. The NFR in Vegas, where every moment is legendary. I like the opportunity, too, is at multiple multiple checks, if you will. I mean, if a circuit guy wins a little bit of money in a round or whatever, at least they'll leave with, all right, maybe I broke even instead of just paying for a vacation to Nashville. So that I think that's smart, giving them the opportunity to win multiple checks or multiple people to win a check. That's awesome on your part.
Yeah, and it clears up the stadium for us, gives us a little breather up there for our staff. It helps out on our music side a lot because our sound check's a little bit more relaxed, and then the artists don't feel like they got to run in there because we were really tight schedule last year, and this is going to give us a little breather room, I think, to make it a little bit more enjoyable for everybody who's got to work the rodeo behind the scenes as well.
Well, and logistically, even on like parking and those small things that most people like to forget about, it should help a lot of the athletes have an ease of an adventure when they're making it their way to Bridgestone. Yeah,
that church lot, we were putting like 45 trailers in there, and then with 2 hours, we were turning around, clearing it out, and filling it back up again. So yeah, that'll be a lot better off for us for sure.
So what's your lineup look like for 2026?
Yeah, so this year, I'm excited for our lineup. I'm really good. We got Miranda Lambert, so she's gonna kick us off on Thursday, and then we got Charlie Crockett on Friday night, and we've got John Party on Saturday. So Mr. Saturday Night on Saturday.
That's
so
awesome.
It'll be yeah, and I know he's excited about it. We've been talking with him, and we're trying to do some special things with our artists. We got a lot of Jelly Roll was in our commercial that we did last year on Broadway, and then McGraw did a whole bunch of promo stuff for us. So we're working with our artists to get some kind of exciting things that we can kind of pop in there. Plus, we're going to mix in a lot more of our rodeo athletes and a lot of our promos. And last year we overtook the Opry, did the Opry 2 nights actually. We're going to do that again and have some of our cowboys come down and be part of the Opry. And there's some other things going on that we'll be able to drop here soon, but we got something going on Memorial Day. I think it's going to be pretty exciting for some of our cowboys as well, and for our rodeo.
I just thought it was cool too that last year when Tim was there on opening night, it wasn't just a smile and wave and I'm out of here. He seemed very excited and engaged to hang out and talk to people. And I thought that was a big testament to the type of guy he is and how invested he was in the rodeo as well.
He is. Tim McGraw's the greatest person ever. I tell this to everybody. I said, whatever you see Tim McGraw, like when you see him on TV and his interviews and all that stuff, that's him. Like when the cameras are off and you're just sitting in a room talking with him or catching up, that's him. He's generally interested in what you're doing, what your family's doing, what your life's about. I mean, he is just a great guy. And Cole Reiner and Tim O'Connell spent 2.5 days with Tim, bouncing all around town doing these promos for us, and they developed a pretty good relationship, and they still stay in touch. When Tim did his show in Iowa, he had O'Connell come out with his whole family, and took him that Field of Dreams concert he did out there, and he likes the Cowboys. He loves rodeo. He likes being part of it. He likes being around the Cowboys, and he wants to grow the sport out here as well.
Well, we want to talk a little bit about your Las Vegas history too, but staying in the same vein, obviously you're growth-minded, and we can see the passion you have for this event. If you had a stretch goal for it 5, 7, 10 years from now, do you have an expansion goal? I mean, is there somewhere you want this to go in the future?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I want to grow this into one of the premier Western events in the country. And everybody points to Houston, and you can't redo Houston. Sure. Houston's its own thing, and it's a great benchmark, and they do everything just about perfect out there. We want to do Nashville's rodeo, and we want to expand it. I would love to get it to where it's a week-long event. I want to have other activities that are bolted onto it, similar to other rodeos that National Western Stock Show does, what Houston does, what Cheyenne does, but they're all different in their way, and we want to do it Nashville's way. But yeah, we want to grow it. We want to expand this thing and make it the premier event for the Western world out in this neck of the woods, and we want to make it a premier event for Nashville. Like, give Nashville truly its own rodeo and really spread our wings. And then, like I said, I have a passion I'd like to bring more of this magic to other cities in the Southeast, especially in the Southeast circuit, and get some more rodeos down here, get some big rodeos.
So your team had to be excited because I know there were some members of the Music City Rodeo event that were able to come to the NFR. So that had to be an eye-opening experience for them as well.
Yeah, yeah. So my first convention I went out, I was a committee of one, and then and then we had, I think we were 4 that were there last year, and then this year we brought a bunch of our music folks and got to see it, and for them to get immersed in that whole side of it, because music's music and it's its own animal, and they love the rodeo industry. The camaraderie, the everybody working together, nobody keeps a secret. Everybody's like, hey, you got to talk to this guy, or hey, talk to these guys. They can do this, and this guy can help you out. Like, everybody truly wants to help you build the best rodeo, and there's no competition. It's like, hey, we got our rodeo over here. This works for us. What works for you? And then I think just the excitement in being able to see our stars are accessible. And we're the only sport that does that. Nobody else has that. Our athletes are magical because they're great in front of the camera, because they're just real, and you can walk across the room and talk to them, and you see them everywhere. I think that was a real great moment for a lot of people from the music industry to see. It is the accessibility of our stars of rodeo.
And it's so visceral, it's so real, because our people, each and every time they show up, they don't get paid. Like, you have to perform and you have to do well if you want to get paid. So there are no guarantees. So I think a lot of people, especially the everyday fan, can relate to that, because it's just like them. You don't go to work, you don't get paid, and so you have to show up and do a good job if you want to leave there with cash.
Yeah. And one thing I loved about our rodeos, we had all these little rodeo rugrats scurrying around backstage and behind the scenes, and conning all these rodeo athletes to give them their back numbers, and then getting all these autographs. And I mean, that was just cool, because it's like these cowboys were kind of lining up to talk to these kids and do that. And it's just, our sport's magical. We just have great people in it. That's what I love about rodeo.
So your connection to Las Vegas goes all the way back to college. So you were a college rodeo athlete at UNLV. How much change have you seen from when you were college rodeo into, obviously, you referenced a lot of college national finals qualifiers who are now at the NFR. So tell us about the progress you've seen in the sport since then.
Yeah, I mean, it's day and night. It's unbelievable. And just how the rodeo athletes travel, just how they go around, that is probably the biggest change to me. I remember I think it was my second year in UNLV, and Scott Mendez came down. He was coming down for Logandale, and he's staying over at Randy Bernelli's apartment, and we're all talking to Scott, because it's like, Scott made it. Like, right. Scott, yeah, man, you're going, and he was going to make his first NFR that year. And I remember him sitting on the floor talking to us, and he goes, man, I got to ride in that grand entry. He goes, I can't ride a horse hardly at all. It's like, well, you're going to have to figure out how to do it, buddy, because you're going this year. So, but just stuff like that is, and there's rodeo still got a lot of that, but our athletes are making money now, and they're getting endorsements. Nobody had a patch on their shirt. Nobody was getting sponsored. It was mom and dad and friends and anybody. And, you're getting in a car, you don't have entry fees. Your buddy are helping you pay your entry fee, because, you're going to be out of money next time, or somebody. And, I'm sure rodeo's got a lot of that, but a lot less of it now. I mean, you can make a living out of this. And that's the awesome thing that I see about rodeo, is that camaraderie of when it was tough and gritty for everybody. And I'm talking Hooter Brown and Butch Kirby days and all those guys, they went down the road and had that camaraderie. That's still there today in rodeo. That's there. That hasn't changed, which is awesome, because the money and the excitement and the elevation of the sport hasn't changed the people. Like, the way they treat each other, the way they live their life, that's what's awesome. Money hasn't changed it. Money's made the sport a lot better for these cowboys, because they can make a living out of it, and going down the road and having better vehicles, having better ways to get around, traveling around safer. That's all the good things that have changed. That's the biggest change I see. It's just a better life for the cowboys.
Well, and the chance that you've given, I mean, guys like Sam Peterson, for instance, he wins your bareback ride, and and that big paycheck helps him get to the national finals rodeo. And I think it's awesome, the youth movement that we are seeing. Not just, it's mainly in the rough stock competitions, but there are 18, 19, 20-year-old kids that are roping and riding with zero fear. They don't. They
Literally.
see some of these other world champions' names on the day sheet, and they're like, okay, I'm not competing against him. I have to go do my job and, let the chips fall where they may. And I think it's awesome because it kind of is, it's going to continue to carry us into the future decades. And I'm so glad that you're giving them that platform and one that pays well.
Yeah. And I think the sport is really, we're at a point to where it's going to take the next level. I think rodeo is going to take that leap. And there's, we're having a moment right now where a lot of things in Western is cool again, and it's more mainstream again. And we always kind of go through that ebb and flow and those things happen. But this one's a little bit, it feels special to me. It feels like the timing's right. The rodeo's got its feet under it strong enough that we're going to take a big leap forward, take advantage of this momentum. And you can see it. Look at the prize money that's gone up at these rodeos. Look at the sponsorships that are pouring into it. The communities and the big businesses are starting to see the value of our sport. And I feel it. I mean, bigger and better things are coming for rodeo. I mean, really, the sky's the limit. It's so cliche, but this is a moment that I really think rodeo is going to shine super bright. It's going to be a big part of our nation. And
nationwide, I think people are searching for authenticity, and we see that in music as well. I mean, I don't think Zach Top is popping off right now because, the way he wears his jeans. Like, it's people want something that's real, and when you listen to his music and his songs, that's just one guy, but he's very popular because I think people can relate to him because he's being real. It's not, it's not bro country.
Show.
Yeah.
Well, it's like George Strait said forever. They said, hey, lose the cowboy hat. And he said, no.
Yeah.
You see a lot of guys keeping that cowboy hat. I think the music industry is like, well, I think the cowboy's okay.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I like it.
Well, Pat, we appreciate you. I know you have a busy schedule, and you guys are coming up on the second year of this great event, but we really appreciate you spending a little time with us and informing us because I some of the things that you've done, your marketing has been great, but one of the coolest things to me, because I see that guitar in the background, I've been passing out those Music City Rodeo guitar picks everywhere I go, and they go, what, first they go, what is that? And I said, well, there's a rodeo coming up at the end of May that you need to go to, and they flip it over, it says Gibson on one side, and then you flip it over and it says Music City Rodeo, and I thought that was one of the coolest parting gifts from your event is just, hey, take a guitar pick with you, even if you can't play, here's a little memento from our event.
Yeah, and Gibson's a great partner. They are awesome. They come with the guitars. This year they're like, hey, we got some different ideas for different nights or different champions because they got a grasp of rodeo. They're like, hey, there's girl champions in there. And so we have a guitar that would be maybe more stylized to what your barrel racer should get. Nice. And we're just like, y'all take it. Like, you've got the magic. You do magical things. Now you got a sense for rodeo. Just take it and blow up with it. So I'll be excited to see, because I don't even know what they've come up with. They've got a package they want to present to us, and Gibson's just cool. So having the J45s last year was pinnacle, and I'm excited to see what they come up for our champions this year, because we will have the guitars again. We will have the guitar buckles that Trace Rios designs to look like the Gibson guitars. So I'm excited.
Yeah, don't tell the chefs how to cook. Just get ready to eat.
Exactly.
You got this many talented people in Nashville, and we got more and more that are offering their expertise and jumping on board. And my arms are wide open. Like, please, there's a lot smarter people in this world than me, and a whole bunch of them are in Nashville, and they're really going to help us. This rodeo is going to get better and better every year because we got good people that want to be involved in it.
Absolutely. For those listening, will you give them the dates of your rodeo so that they can go purchase some tickets and see us in Nashville?
You bet. So we are May 28, 29, and 30th. So it's the last weekend in May, and it's the weekend right after Memorial Day. So it's kind of a weird thing this year because Memorial Day, again, is not the last Monday of the year. So we're the 28th, 29th, and 30th, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
You heard
We'd love to have you come out and get a little piece of Nashville.
It is one that I circle on my calendar because it's a fun town and it's a great time, and we look forward to seeing you there in Music City. And And thank you so much again, Pat, for joining us.
Oh, man, thank you all for having us. You guys are great. I appreciate you.
Want to experience more of the NFR? Then visit nfrexperience.com, and we invite you to subscribe to NFR Extra on Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever you're listening right now. If you like what you've heard on NFR Extra, we would love it if you gave us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe.